message, honey. They're eating breadcrumbs, baby. You got folks eating your breadcrumbs. And sometimes in situations, you could feel like you get the short end of the stick when, baby, you're really not. Because if an individual is eating your breadcrumbs, then that means that you have the bread. Okay. Some of y'all, baby, you have a field with wheat and grain. And I feel as if this wheat and this grain, it's about your prosperity. You can make your own bread, but the beggar cannot. For some of y'all, you're doing a hospitable deed and don't even realize it. But it might not feel like that when somebody could be deliberately taking. Let's get into y'all message. Fayetteville may be significant. Okay. I am picking up on an individual who could be making mojo bags. Somebody could also be making, I just heard pasta. But I feel like someone could be making a doll, a puppet. This could also be pertaining to health. Okay. I do feel like the firefighters may have to come out to someone's home, or someone is going to have to extinguish a fire. Okay. I do see a fire sign who is growing and blossoming, but that is through lessons that were learned by way of spell work. Mm-hmm. Okay, an individual put away their little black book. And now this individual is digging that black book out. And that black book could just be someone reaching out to old contacts. And also, if you wear contacts, somebody could have left the case open on their contacts, or either somebody's contact prescription could be old. Mm-hmm. I also see an individual who could be utilizing a white candle. And this could be helping the individual to heal from alcohol addiction. Mm-hmm. I'm also picking up on an individual having to clean up a spill or a mess. Okay. Well, you're going through a spiritual awakening, a call to higher consciousness. And with this deeper mental awareness of what is going on around you, what is going on universal wise, right? It's like you begin to realize, God intervened in your situation in a major way. Everything that happened was a part of the plan, but it was also an act of God. It helped you to see things clearly. It helped you to connect with your higher self. And because you are operating out of your higher self, in situations where an individual could be copying you, stolen identity, lying when it comes to the relationship or how the relationship began or ended. Because you are operating out of your higher self, you realize that the individuals that you were dealing with, baby, they was just eating your breadcrumbs. You have the ability to make your own bread because you have the ingredients, the recipe. Some of y'all making it from scratch. Okay. God gave you a field, wheat and grains. He gave you chickens to lay eggs, cows to produce milk. So you have everything you need. And all of those things are symbolic of the gifts that you have been given, the resources that you have, your community or environment, knowing how to just navigate your community and where to go and who to connect to, what areas to stay away from, and what areas are the best to live in. There are resources that at times you can take for granted. But when it goes back to you operating out of your higher self, you've gone through this spiritual awakening, you begin to realize that's crumbs. What I'm going to cry about some crumbs for when I can just go and make it all over again? Mm-hmm. Honey, the beggar has to wait for you to bake the bread. Always remember that. Honey, they eat when you eat. And we are not talking about individuals who are homeless. This is metaphorically speaking of individuals who you could have felt like wronged you. Relationships at times where you felt like somebody was giving you the short end of the sticks. They was breadcrumbing you. Somebody like breadsticks. Mm-hmm. But with all these gifts that you have been given, the education that you have, you realize you ain't got to eat no breadcrumbs. Go on and break. Okay, somebody about to break some bread. But go on and bake you some bread, boo. Mm-hmm. So you're going through the spiritual awakening. Even when it comes to your own coping mechanisms and the coping mechanisms of the individuals that you are dealing with. For some of y'all, eating your breadcrumbs is the only way somebody can cope with not being on your level, not being where you were at, or not being in a connection with you. So their way of coping may be picking at you, not knowing how to communicate with you, causing obstacles for some. Deep down inside, you could be ready to confront this person. You could. But again, baby, when you realize that it's just breadcrumbs and you have the ingredients to make you some more bread, that bread could be when it comes to building a business, building a new relationship, building on your career goals or your education, taking care of your family. Now, you can't get another family, but you can find different ways to provide for them. You don't have to be dependent upon another situation or a person. Okay. Somebody's name is Jamie. It's a confirmation. Now you have an individual who's been eating your breadcrumbs. They questioning their old beliefs. They're having to look at the way that they coped with that situation between you and them. You know, even when it comes to an individual who may copy your mannerisms or an individual who may steal your identity, at some point, the individual still has to look in the mirror at themselves. And there's a lack of satisfaction when one has not done something that they themselves are proud of, that is the work of their hands. Especially somebody who's stealing from you. When it comes to a relationship and the individual has not taken the time to heal, to work on their own personal issues, and they keep putting the baggage on you. When you decide to remove yourself from that situation, baby, who they gonna put that baggage on? You can make bread or make another situation work. Okay. Mm-hmm. Street connections. Chill. Now, somebody is coping by running to the street connections, a mutual friend. Okay. But when we're looking at you, you have already come to that realization that that's exactly what an individual does to cope with those emotions, to cope with insecurities, to cope with stressors. And for some of y'all, you're going to have an individual coming to you and telling you some tea about an individual that you mutually know. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Capricorn? What and who got you grumpy, honey? Somebody pays too much attention to what's going on outside versus what's going on within. Somebody messy. Somebody is dealing with an individual who has a lot of insecurities. And I feel as if that person thrives off of messiness. Capricorn, stay centered and stay focused. Don't let all of that stuff that's going on around you impact you to the point to where it distracts you from what God has called you to do. Okay. Spiritual awakening. An air sign. Mm-hmm. Bottom of the deck, root chakra. Mm-hmm. So you begin to realize some things when it comes to an air sign that you're dealing with. And this has a lot to do with your connection. Some of you guys have been connecting with the air sign via dreams. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's an air sign also who is connected to some individuals of a higher power. Somebody could also be having some issues when it comes to their electricity, or like their lights could be flashing. Mm-hmm. New York is significant. Okay, there's about to be a critical storm that's about to take place. Somebody can actually just like think about how they want the situation to play out, and it may actually manifest. I'm also picking up on an individual who could be doing some air magic. Especially if it has been windy. Chicago is also going to be significant. I do pick up on like, it could be a storm that knocks out somebody's electricity. Yeah. This could even be like some street lights could even go out. Mm-hmm. Someone doesn't have a choice. Free will in reverse. Oof. You ain't got a choice but to be a saint. Oof. Oh, okay. You got a contract. Mm-hmm. Now, there could be an individual who feel like they're going against their will. Like they don't have control of the situation at this point. And I also feel as if someone's coping mechanisms that they use, it's like they don't have any free will with that. The power to choose how they want to cope with the situation or their stressors. Mm-hmm. Street connections. Somebody's name is Tony. Mm-hmm. I also feel like an individual has a tattoo on their shoulder. You could even be dealing with someone who is a mechanic or somebody is having some mechanical issues. Okay, an individual is a psycho. Mm-hmm. I'm also picking up on an individual who may have to flush their eyes. Somebody could get something in their eye. Yeah. And I do pick up on an individual also who may have a cut or a gash. This could be on the side of the face. Mm-hmm. Somebody could have gotten into an accident also riding around with another individual in the inner city. I do pick up on an individual who may drink like whiskeys or brandies. Mm-hmm. Somebody is also into some illegal activities, and that's how they cope with their stressors. Yeah, somebody's codependent. Mm-hmm. You or this individual could wear like some red lipstick or some, could be like burgundy-ish. Mm-hmm. I see somebody like getting dressed up or putting some makeup on, and an individual sitting back and having a drink. I also see an individual who could have their nose pierced. Mm-hmm. This person is stressed about a financial situation. They could be stressed when it comes to work because they depend on those breadcrumbs. You got somebody who depends on you. If you get the bread, you have somebody who depends on you, the person who is eating breadcrumbs. And by them continually eating the breadcrumbs, it doesn't lead to a new path. And that person feels like they don't have any other option but to eat the fucking breadcrumbs that you give them. This could definitely be a work situation, or it's tied to finances. Mm-hmm. See, while you are headed towards a new path, or you're able to move freely about in life, right? Clear conscious. It's more where that came from, is what I heard, especially when it comes to, again, the bread and the breadcrumbs. Because if you're giving them the breadcrumbs, it's more that you have. And that is what stresses the hell out of this other person. But y'all have a mutual friend. This is like an individual who's living above their means, and they are solely dependent upon, let's just say, one income. They have to eat the breadcrumbs in order to maintain. Look, a distorted masculine, bottom of the deck. Somebody has also, look, Babel brain readings. Chill. Spiritual laws. Spiritual laws to that. So there is a distorted masculine who's been getting some readings. Hell, he could be a reader, but I feel like somebody is getting some readings. However, this person don't understand the messages that they are receiving. Mm-hmm. Now somebody need the Lord, because look, the song that's playing is Smoking Norfolk, I Need You Now. Honey, the individual who was breadcrumbing off of you, now they need you. Mm-hmm. Spirit possession, honey. Yeah. You also might be picking up on messages from other realms. You're clairaudient. I feel like your intuition has been heightened since the beginning of the full moon. And you should be noticing, like, pay attention to your dreams. You should be noticing some things in the dream state that are confirming what's going on in your situation. And another reason why you're not addressing the situation, or where for some of you guys, Spirit is telling you leave the situation alone, is because, baby, you're dealing with a turtleneck Tammy. A situation that is not worth your time. And for some of y'all, when you look at those crumbs that an individual is picking up behind you, honey, you left them there for them to pick up, Chad. Just like, it's crumbs, sis. Period. Clarify the message. Oh, honey, and when somebody gets to drinking, child, the spirit possesses them. Somebody loses control, honey, when they start drinking. Yeah. I guess that's why they call it wine and spirits. But an individual is going to tell you about that. Like, oh my goodness, that person was flipping out, like they was tripping. You would have thought that they was possessed. Ace of Wands. So you're realizing a lot of things about an individual's actions. And for some of y'all, it could leave a distaste in your mouth. You could just be ready to walk away from the entire situation. Okay. Now, you could be dealing with the air sign masculine energy. Okay. If you are an air sign woman, you may be realizing some things about a masculine energy. Okay. Master number 88 is going to be significant. But this is all about an individual's actions. You come to the realization about a lot based upon how that person acts. Somebody could smoke. Okay. But I feel like an individual, if they smoke, they don't feel as if like they have the choice to choose freely whether or not they want to smoke. It's more of they need to smoke. It could even be to calm down. I see someone smoking and drinking. Somebody is stressed out. Oh, honey, the truth. 2 aces. The truth. Okay. You got an individual who will do a lot of shit for attention. You have the 6 of Wands and the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Could also be dealing with a fire sign, especially an Aries. Oh, honey, Aries is a player. Yes, honey. They like to play, and for others, there is an Aries who likes to play with spell work. Oh, honey, and it done fucked up their money. They in the 5 of Pentacles. If you a Queen of Swords, you was headed ahead of the game when it comes to that Queen of Wands. And for the Queen of Wands, this fire sign, it was just about business. For them, it was business. See, somebody mess up an individual's money because it's business instead of working hard for their own stuff. But I do feel as if like the Queen of Swords, honey, you had to be strong. You've been strong. Mhm. And the people around you are realizing that. They recognize your strength. The moment that you decide to start new, do something different, you're going to end up receiving an apology from someone from the past for the way that they treated you. But again, it was an individual who was eating off of your breadcrumbs. And when it comes to like this individual eating breadcrumbs, look at this. You still have success. You still receive attention. For some of y'all, if you have a business and like somebody is trying to compete with you as far as like business is concerned, you still get attention. Your business is still thriving. I do feel like a air sign could cut off a fire sign. Mhm. Hmm. Tower. Shocked as shit. Somebody is. Somebody is a Scorpio or Aries. Now, you have an individual who's definitely caught up in the middle of some shit. And baby, don't allow nobody to get you caught up in the middle of some shit. Somebody been juggling, honey. Somebody also been robbing Peter to pay Paul. And for some of y'all, the reason why you are not addressing the situation as you probably would in the past is because you see somebody as a juggling act. You may see this individual like they are in a circus, like they on some clown shit. Why address the individual? Mm-hmm. And again, you can tell by that individual's actions. And the truth is what's going to shock the shit out of an individual. You are going to notice an individual like blow up and go off like they are going to be furious. Mm-hmm. There's a Aries or a Scorpio that's about to fuck around and find out. And again, some of y'all got like a mutual connection with this Aries or this Scorpio. Mm-hmm. I do pick up on a masculine energy who've been talking out the side of their neck. This individual is going to have like a coughing spell. They're going to have a hard time of catching their breath. Yeah, somebody was on some clown shit. And somebody also tried to clown you. But baby, that's neither here nor there, because if somebody is eating your breadcrumbs, how could they even clown you to begin with? You got the whole damn bakery. And you can also tell by air sign's actions whether or not they're being honest with you. They don't have a choice but to be, oh shit. Somebody ain't got the choice but to be honest. And I'm telling you, when I say like this person, they have to be honest with you, that person is possessed by a spirit that requires them to tell an individual the truth. And again, it could be the spirit within, but somebody has to tell the truth, especially when you had that Saint card on the bottom of the deck. Mm-hmm. You know, saints are usually individuals who sacrifice themselves for other people. They put other people's needs before theirs. It's like they have a really good heart. It's very pure, generous, authentic. And that, because of your actions, that shocked somebody. Mm-hmm. I do feel like an individual could have a magical wand. Mm-hmm. There's an air sign that is connected to a higher power. Yeah. Okay, there's a fire sign who's dragging a air sign is what I just heard. Mhm. Well, why they dragging the air sign? Hmm. You could have a mohawk or dealing with someone who could have a mohawk or they had one in the past. Let me say the past year if they did. Mhm. I just heard fire hose or somebody like could be saying like fire hose, like fire a hoe or something. Hmm. Okay, but an individual again is awakening to the truth. And the only way that an individual can cope with everything is to try to tear shit down, try to destroy somebody. But they ultimately cause destruction to themselves because of the spirit that they possess. Now, an individual who, let's say this person was doubting you, they didn't believe that baby you was the bread maker, the bread winner, right? That individual is going to be able to tell by your actions whether you are the bread maker or the individuals picking up crumbs. And if somebody is taking an individual's ideas or anything, people are noticing that. You see that? It's like whoever is taking your ideas, they're walking a fine line, they're juggling. Somebody was definitely trying to hide their hand, wearing a mask. This individual wants to appear like they have reached the top. They have climbed the ladder to success, is what I hear. But honey, it's a turtleneck Tammy. And because you are who you are and you're operating out of your higher self, there's no need for you to address turtleneck Tammy. Because apparently, the person who is eating your breadcrumbs is not by free will. Mhm. Somebody's name could be Ida or like Ada. I'm also picking up on an individual who is going to like it makes me feel like psychic.com or like 1-800 psychic. Mhm. It could be a psychic network too. I also feel like for someone who may roll cigars, an individual might want to cut open the cigar or whatever you're smoking. If you didn't put it together, you might want to open it up because if you do, you're going to find out that somebody could have laced that. So be careful if you smoking with somebody else or if you have an air sign child. Mhm. Now, your confirmation to that is going to be, especially if you notice that the cigar or whatever you're smoking, okay, but I feel like it would be like a cigar or some papers or something. You're going to notice that it's like twigs, or I don't know if the blunt is stuffed, weed is like coming out of it, or it has holes in it. That's a confirmation. Okay, it don't burn right, is what they just said. So you're going to notice that it don't burn right. And somebody is going to blow a fucking gasket. They're going to flip out when they figure it out. Mm-hmm. They did that to somebody else, like drugged somebody else. Whoever individual is like smoking with, that person has done that to another individual. And it would be somebody that would be a mutual friend of y'all's. Somebody felt like some shit was like crawling on them or grabbing them. Chill. Just be careful, honey. If you don't smoke, be glad you don't smoke. If you got a family member that smokes, just tell them be safe, especially if they're air sign. Because somebody is going to try to make them smoke or going to try to put something in something that they smoke, and they're going to try to take advantage of them. Like they cannot freely choose what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Chill. What is this tower? Six of coins. Oh, you're going to be shocked to find out what an individual gave another person, or like a gift that they could have given them, or a date that this person could have taken this individual out on, like someone else. Somebody did something for another person. I do pick up on an individual feeling obligated to donate to you, or to do something nice, or to give to you, to look out for you, but they feel like they owe you for that. The person who's been eating breadcrumbs. So it's like now the individual is feeling guilty for what it is that they took. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. I do pick up on an individual as far as a relationship is concerned that wants to start over, and y'all may end up going out on a date, but the way that you see this individual, you cannot unsee it, honey. You have graduated, darling. What you say? You got your badge of honor when it comes to dealing with turtleneck Tammy or turtleneck Tyrone. Straight like that. You say, oh, I've learned from lowering my standards. You see things differently. Okay. You maybe even be shocked that an individual has the audacity to try to want to make things right, or balance the scales, or, go out on a date, because you know the truth. You know what spirit they possess. So you like, why would I deal with you when I know the spirit that you possess? That person no longer has power or control over the situation or over you. I heard a complete cutoff. Okay. You do got somebody who, a street connection, mutual friend, somebody snorts. And they use like, they squirt something up their damn nose. Somebody could even ask an individual to go and get something for, okay. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Confirmation. This is going to be your confirmation that somebody snorts. I see something with the FRIN on it, but I feel like it's something that an individual puts up their nose. Yeah, they got an FRIN. But your confirmation is going to be, if you have salt and pepper shakers in your house, in your kitchen, or on the countertop, or on the table. That is a confirmation, honey. Somebody get down with the get down. Okay. And that's why they be flipping out, boo. Chill. I feel like whatever somebody puts up their nose, they gonna get real. Why the hell is we talking about this? Let me just tell you though, they gonna get real high. And it's like they gonna have to try to gain their balance. I don't know if it put them on their ass or what, child. Somebody's weight be up and down too because of that. That's crazy. Eating breadcrumbs. Mm-mm-mm. If you recently had something that you utilized chopsticks with, confirmation. It's a confirmation. Okay. If somebody has some hazel brown eyes, confirmation. Mhm. Hmm. All right, boo. That's crazy. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye.